I'd like to thank you in advance, David, for taking the time out and supporting the Unity in the Community project. As you know, we're about trying to support good causes in the community, and right now we're really focusing on Families for Peace. They're doing an amazing work, and I know that you're supportive of what they're doing. So can you just, tell me your views and your feelings and how you're going to approach embracing the community into what you do?
Firstly, can I say the wonderful work you're doing in Unity and the community. What I see that the police doing is helping communities be strong, to create people who are confident to look after their own community, people who have got a say about what they want in their community, and people who can actually say what they want for their youngsters and how they want it run. The police can help in that, but most of all, what we need is people who themselves are setting the tone and standard in their own communities, and we can help build those strengths up.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I mean, just what you're saying now, you're demonstrating that just by engaging in what we're doing for Families for Peace, and you're giving us a platform to show the world, the community, that we want to stamp out guns, knife and violent crimes, and we're going to work in partnership, come together and continue the good work, because I'm aware that the gun crime has gone down.
It has indeed. Gun crime and knife crime, I'm glad to say, has gone down very substantially. I mean, that is partly the work of the police, but it's mainly the work, what's happening in local communities. And in the end, the police can arrest people, the police can follow incidents up, but really what makes a difference in communities is the people in their community saying, this is not acceptable where we live, and working with the young people, all those in the community joining together, young and old, to make sure that there aren't those in their community who are committing those sort of crimes.
Yes, that is really true, because we've got, as you know, we're supporting Families for Peace. Dealing Reid, she's the founder of Families for Peace, and what she does is bring the community. They do leadership courses for the youth, and I'm aware that some of them have gone on to further education, started their own businesses, so they're giving them the platform to build up their self-esteem, know their worth, and believe in themselves, and taking the step to go forward. So that's why we here at Unity Community are supporting them, and we put a single together, a charity single, to try and raise funds so that Glenn Reid and the team can continue to do their work. So what you're doing here is fabulous. Can you just touch on like the schools? How are you impacting on the children?
There's a lot of good work going on with children in schools, and Crime Stoppers, who are an independent organisation from the police, have been doing work with children to resist peer pressure. Other children saying, you want to do this, you want to do that, where they learn how to say no to somebody else, whatever it is. And that goes across a lot of things in their lives. There's other things where police are visiting schools and they're looking at what the consequences are of carrying knives. Sometimes carrying a knife, not only do you injure the other person, but actually you carry a lifelong of guilt to the damage that you may have done to that person. So there's a lot of good work going on, but most of all the good work needs to come from within communities, people setting those standards, setting the tone, and making sure young people have a proper route to follow.
That is awesome. That is awesome, and it is imperative that, because the children are our next adults, next generation, and we do have a responsibility to ensure that we instill good standards, and so that they can excel into becoming good standing citizens of the future community.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And what really matters for children is engaging fully in school. Children only do that if they're getting proper support at home from parents. The parents don't have to be educated themselves. They need to give that encouragement to children to do well. children who are doing well academically are getting encouragement to go on. They're not the children who get involved in crime. They are the majority, I'm glad to say, the vast majority. And most of our schools are excellent, and the teachers they're working with are excellent too. But it is that minority who fall by the wayside where schools can help, but most of all communities can help do that work through the churches and other community organisations. So much can be done.
Yes, that is so true. How do you see yourself, because you're quite new in this post, congratulations, how do you see yourself taking this and driving it forward to continue the good work from your predecessor, Bob Jones, the late Bob Jones?
Well, clearly Bob was doing a lot of good work, and this was very important to him, and he spoke to me about the work he was doing, particularly with young people.
Yes.
And I know he had a particular concern about crime of youth. One thing that he set up that I'm very anxious to see strengthened is the youth commissioners that we have, a group of young people who have been elected by other young people, and they are meeting to look at things that concern them, and they have come up with some very good ideas. I mean, one of the things that's actually happening now that came from them was safer travel on the buses, and cracking down on some of the minor crime, and thereby cracking down on what could become major crime on the buses. The records show enormous improvement, and that's been done by the West Midlands Police working with the Transport Police, local authorities, schools and others, made a huge difference. But there's other areas too where young people have made suggestions to us as to how we can help. One of them, of course, is the knife surrender bins. Those ideas have largely come from younger people, which have formed in many areas a focus around which people are saying no knives in our community. In fact, one of the community groups I went to see, that was their slogan, no knives in our community. We want life, not the knife. I thought that was good. I thought that was good, because that came not from the police, it came from the people, and they're taking charge. The police are backing them up. That's how it should be.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And also, we like assessing what's gone on previously, and we touched about it before about the children like getting bullied at school, and that can sort of have a negative effect of pent-up feelings. And we know what's happening abroad, where children are going into schools and causing a lot of damage, by shooting and so forth. And we really don't want to see that here in the UK. We've had a sad incident that took place earlier on this year. And we want to put systems into place to ensure that this does not escalate and does not become like a trend. And but what we have to look at, and like the teachers and so forth, is the bullying, because it can have a psychological effect on the child and growing up, and it can lead into mental health situations where they have a breakdown. So we really have to keep working together, reevaluating what has gone on before, what measures we do have in place, and how we can improve on that. What are your views?
Well, schools are doing a lot of good work
Yes.
on the anti-bullying strategies that they have, and the police have been supporting some of those where it's appropriate. If you don't stop the bullying right at the beginning, one is the bullies can get worse and take other nastier measures against people and grow up into bullies who may then use guns and knives. And of course you create victims, some of who feel that they want to get back at those other people. I think really that there's two things here. It's really dealing with the bullies, making sure they're firmly dealt with, but also helping people to be stronger. A lot of people become the victims of the bullies because they don't know how to be strong and how to say no and how to stop what's going on. There's a lot of good work being done in schools through drama and a lot of projects outside of schools, helping children to gain confidence, to feel self-esteem so that they don't actually get bullied. So it's working on the two things, attacking the bullies but actually making the victims, potential victims, making them stronger.
Yes. Because of all of that, then we will have organisations, charities such as Families for Peace, who basically are picking up the pieces after the damage has been done. So, I have to salute Glenn Reid for starting up Families for Peace. And we're here to support her and the team that are doing good work on the ground. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Just that they're doing some really very excellent work.
Yes.
And they shouldn't be dealing with the outcomes of terrible things that happen, of killings and shootings and stabbings. They shouldn't be dealing with that because these things shouldn't be happening in our society in the 21st century. Really what they're doing is highlighting particularly to children, what the damage is done to the people who suffer, and what damage is done, what people do damage to themselves by attacking other people. By showing those things, I think they've done enormous good work. But what we mustn't ever be is complacent. Things have got better, but if you stop doing the good things, things will get worse.
Yes. Exactly, because that's the reason why Unity in the Community was formed. It is a new project because we are aware that there is awareness out there. You know, you'll hear it on the news, there's a big hoo-ha about it, and then everybody goes back to their normal day-to-day living. And so the awareness or being at the forefront of your mind is now placed at the back. So this is why we want to support Families for Peace, to keep that awareness ticking over at the forefront of the minds. And if we can affect one child, one person, as a as a deterrent, I remember that song, I remember that Weeping Eye video. No, because and often the time we focus on the victim's family, and we don't focus on the perpetrator's family because they're heartbroken because their child, their son, daughter has committed a serious crime, and they are affected by it as well. But because they're on the side of the perpetrator, they often get lost in the system and they're hurting too.
Well, Families for Peace is a good example of where, out of an appalling tragedy, actually good people can bring good things and actually make society better in the long term. And that's why their work must be applauded. And because they've used their faith and what they believe in to actually show some forgiveness and actually bring something good out of it, rather than perpetrating the bad things.
Absolutely, that's spot on. That's spot on. I'd like to say thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
It's been amazing.
Real pleasure. Thank you.
For your time.